All right, we're live.
We are live.
We're four misfits who don't belong together, playing for each other. I fucked up. From the top. I'll write it and we'll do it live. We're four misfits who don't belong together, playing for other misfits. They're the outcasts, right at the back of the room. We're pretty sure they don't belong either. We belong to them. Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast. This is episode 62, our 2019 Oscar preview show. We're just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. Today, I guess more artsy movies than we typically do. I'm your host, Jeff Hornacek. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Before we dive into it and tell you what we're going to talk about today, what was that?
That's how artsy I get.
Well played. I guess we'll have to start with you now. You just stole the introductions from me.
Sorry.
We go first to the mad scientist, Brian Banner, who you might have just heard excreting waste through his mouth. Banner, now that Oscar nominations have been announced, how much more pretentious and douchey have you become in the past week and a half?
I mean, a little bit to moderately a lot. Guys, I watched half of a black and white movie where I had to read all the subtitles. That puts me in a pretty douchey spot.
You're just about saying you're vegan and you do CrossFit away from being on my most hated list.
Okay, well, good thing I'm not vegan, but I do CrossFit. I think it's the best form of fitness that there is.
I was going to say, he sent me an email this week about why box jumps are the best workout you can do, so we're in trouble.
Works everything.
Next.
Head to toe.
Next to our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger. Matt, do you think you and I combined could beat up a teenage black bear?
We'd need a time machine and a de-aging machine. A de-aging machine to go back when we were 9, and a time machine to go back in 1995 when karate was cool, and we could beat the fuck out of anyone on this planet, including a 45-year-old strong man.
I don't know of it off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's a movie out there from the 90s where a kid with a headband on and remedial karate skills beats the shit out of a black bear.
Absolutely.
I mean, the burden of proof is on you to prove me wrong. And with that, again, we're the Bro 4 Squad podcast. If you guys have not listened to us before and you just came to us for our Oscar noms or Oscar preview show, this is not going to be your typical Oscar preview. We are just what we said off the top. A bunch of bros who drink beer and love movies. We don't profess to be film majors or art students. I like to think that we have kind of the layman man's opinion of movies. So we actually did a pretty good job as a collective group, I think, covering mostly all the movies nominated in the main 6 or so categories this year. This is the one time in our lives when we actually did our fucking homework.
Totally.
So what we're going to do, we'll go through the 6 main categories. We'll mention the movies or the actors or actresses nominated. For the ones we've seen, which I think the least we saw was actually for the animated features. But I think that one's pretty much between the two that we saw. We'll give you our take as bros. This is not too scripted out. Again, none of us have film degrees or film majors, and we don't think that our opinion is better than yours, which is sometimes refreshing to listen to.
Pump the brakes on that one.
I guess that's true. So before we get started, I'll go through the main movie categories just one by one. But overall on Oscar season, Geiger, I know especially you because you saw a ton of these movies. What was your take this year on the crop of films and then just kind of the Oscars in general? If you haven't checked out our Broscars from last year, we'll be doing one again this year, which is kind of the anti-Oscars where we give out our awards. But Matt, what do you think of the nominations this year as a whole and then just kind of the whole event or the awards ceremony?
Well, as you said, Jeff, it was a team effort. I think I watched the bulk of the movies. Banner watched the ones that I think no one wanted to watch, so he was a team member there. You watched some, and then Ronnie Cycli just said, I'm your lawyer. I don't have to do fucking shit. He didn't watch any, I believe. So it was a team effort through and through. But as the Oscars go through, yeah, man, I think for Best Picture, as Best Picture goes, these movies are a lot more popular. And as I say popular, meaning that are more meant for the mainstream people, that you could watch top 4 of these and actually be genuinely entertained. Not, oh my God, this movie is so far over my head. I don't want to say it's stupid because then all the artsy people will call me out for it. But I think a lot of these, I think this is one of the best Oscar nominated years that we've ever had as a podcast, which we've been a podcast for 3 years. Last year I thought was terrible. Our first year doing it, I think I only saw one Best Picture because I was like, man, I just can't fucking go through these. But all
that was Get Out, probably
in actual theaters.
Right. I think the thing for me is the Oscars, for me to really get involved, need to be accessible, if that's the word, meaning movies that, like, I don't feel like I'm an idiot if I don't get what's happening 10 minutes in. Like the year that The Artist won,
right?
A black and white French film, which again, it might be a good movie, but that's where I was kind of like, okay, this is like not for me. How am I even going to find that? Banner, you actually watched the closest thing to The Artist, I think, on this pod in Roma, and then, of course, a couple of the animated movies. So what were your takes on the crop that we saw this year in terms of noms?
Yeah, I think I have to agree. The bulk of these movies are, I'm not going to say are catered to the average person because they're not by any means. I mean, you've got a few like Bohemian Rhapsody, which is just going to be more appealing to the common fan just because it's Queen. You also have obviously Black Panther, huge superhero movie, mainstream, what it is culturally, whether you agree or disagree that it should be nominated, it is. A Star is Born. Like, these are movies that the average person can relate to, which I think is something that the Oscars has been missing the last, really, obviously, since we've been a pod the last 2 or 3 years, but even maybe the last, like, 4 or 5. I mean, you got to remember, what was it, 10, 15 years ago? A Lord of the Rings movie won. That is something that people...
The worst of the 3.
Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. And that's what people want in the Oscars, not, hey, I'm going to do a black and white film that in America we're not going to be able to listen to it. We have to actually read it, which I think is kind of cool. But then also it takes away from the movie because a movie isn't a book. You shouldn't have to read it. So
well, that's on us for not speaking Spanish.
I guess.
But that actually brings us right into Best Picture. So I maybe the easiest way to do this, we'll go through the category. I'll read the noms, and then we can just each rapid fire the ones that we saw and give our opinion on if we think one of them could or should win. Now, the interesting thing about Best Picture is you get both ends of the spectrum this year. So we have the blockbuster movie in Black Panther, one of those nominated, which is a rarity. Then we have the more artsy movie in Roma, which was the Spanish Alfonso Cuarón black and white film. And then everything else, like Geiger was saying, is kind of right down the middle, like more accessible for fans and things that we're all playing with pretty wide theatrical releases. So nominees for Best Picture: Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star is Born, and Vice. Now, obviously, the motif here is like, fucking music movies, which I always enjoy. But then you have a couple, that cover some racial topics in Black Klansman and Green Book. And then I'll get into it when it's my turn to go. But The Favorite, which I don't really know even how to classify that. So, Geiger, I'll let you go first because I know you saw probably 4 or 5 of these, right? Maybe even 6.
Yeah, so how do you want me to do this? Go down one by one?
Yeah, I guess just quickly give your thoughts on the ones you saw, and then if you have one that you definitely think should win, or definitely one that like doesn't have a chance, maybe just punt it.
Okay, the first one I think that should win is Green Book. It's my favorite one of all of them, which is very hard to top A Star is Born because I think A Star is Born could win, but in this climate, I'll just leave it at that. I think Green Book will win. However, I think Green Book might have been a better movie. It was very well acted. Viggo Mortensen, Marshall Ali. I mean, this pod sucks his dick, I think, every chance we fucking get. He's probably the best actor going right now, fucking period.
Yeah.
On TV, on movie, on anything. Don't really care about all the other bullshit going on. I don't know the story, didn't even know the pianist. Just watched the movie, thought it was very well acted, very well told. It made me feel a lot of stuff. There's a bunch of best scenes in it. I think that should win. A Star is Born, best soundtrack of the movie, that should win soundtrack. Bradley Cooper, I'm sorry about all the bad shit I said about you. Dude, you can fucking act. I thought you were just kind of a funny guy, or kind of the third level funny guy in The Hangover. I'm sorry about everything I said about you. Lady Gaga, I have had problems with her. She's fucking fantastic in this. Obviously is singing, but actually she brought her talents on acting.
And both of them
what
are
else?
nominated. We'll mention them here in a second.
Okay, I want to get to one thing, and that's the movie that I think will win. I said what should win. What I think will win is Bohemian Rhapsody. I think that's a fucking shame, and this is why. Rami Malek, if he wins for Best Actor, that's fine, because Marshall Ali is going to probably win for Best Supporting Actor. I don't know anyone else. I don't think Bradley Cooper should win for Best Actor, even though I think he did a more talented job as a singer-songwriter than Rami Malek did, just in my opinion. But this whole fucking Queen thing, man, I'm so fucking sick of it. This whole Brian May defending himself, bro. And if you don't know, Brian May is the guitarist of Queen. Your sorry-ass attempt to try to make your band relevant when the only talented person in your fucking band died back in the 90s, and having Adam Lambert's dumbass come and fucking sing for you just so you can go back on tour, throw in this movie, and basically bury, in my opinion, you buried Freddie Mercury, the only talented guy in this fucking band, and you tell Brian May's a great guitarist. Bro, he's not a freckle on Jimmy Page's ass. Give me a fucking break. He's not that fucking good, and he's front and center of all this Oscar bullshit. I'm fucking sick of it. This movie buried Freddie Mercury just like the Doors movie fucking buried Jim Morrison, and you bury the fucking talented guys on these bands because they're not allowed to defend themselves, and I'm fucking done with it. Rocket Man's going to be way better. This movie should not win, and Brian May should go back to the 12th best guitarist in history because he's not fucking top 10. I've said my piece on that. I don't know if I've seen any other movies. I'm running hot right now because I had to get that out. But Green Book should win, I think, and A Star Is Born is a close second.
You and I both saw Vice. I don't really think that'll do much damage here.
It was fine. It was a fine movie. I think it was trying desperately to be JFK and just didn't. But it was very well acted. I think they might get some supporting actor noms. Maybe, I guess Christian Bale was the lead. Amy Adams might get something in that. I'm not sure. I don't know how Emma Stone did in The Favorite. That's your deal. So
Yeah, I'll get to that. So I'll run through mine because you actually, I think I echo a lot of your thoughts. I saw The Favorite. Look, so the director of this, Yorgos Lanthimos, is also nominated for Best Director. I've seen one of his other movies, Killing of a Sacred Deer, and I wrote in our Letterboxd review, maybe I'm just not fucking smart enough to watch his films because I don't know what the fuck he's going for. It's this weird voyeuristic like parallel universe where people are like kind of self-aware, and like the camera will randomly go into like a body cam, which doesn't even make sense in Victorian England. And it's all incredibly like uncomfortable. That's what he wants to do. He wants you like seething in the movie. And I don't mind gratuitous nudity in films like at all, but this is just weird. Like there's naked people in my face for I still don't know why in certain scenes, and I just couldn't. Emma Stone at times is brilliant. At times I'm like, oh, she's going insane. She's absolutely lost it. So I was not a fan of The Favorite. But again, that's just my opinion. I'm drunk half the time. One thing that's kind of interesting is what movie can get out of its own way, because Bryan Singer, who Banner's in love with because of the X-Men movies.
Yeah, I am.
The director of Bohemian Rhapsody, now he's got this pedophilia scandal hanging over his head, which could doom that movie at the Oscars. If you don't know, several extras on a film that Bryan Singer directed right about the time the X-Men came out in 2001, several children have now come out and said that they were sexually abused by him on set. And this is a lingering case. This happened with another movie he did as well. And so he actually wasn't allowed to direct.
Just don't let it happen during the Oval Office scene. Please don't take that away from me. One of the greatest scenes ever in movie history.
With Nightcrawler?
Yes. God
Yeah.
damn it. Just leave that scene alone. Let that scene be pure.
So he actually was pulled off the movie about halfway through production of Bohemian Rhapsody, but they kept his name attached as director. So I don't know. I'm assuming that if they want any shot at Best Picture on him and distance themselves from him at the Oscars. But that obviously complicates things there. I feel the same way you did about A Star Is Born. Incredible soundtrack. The second act of the movie is incredible. The third act kind of started to lose me until the very end. I was back in. Yeah, and then Black Panther, it was a great movie, but a great movie. I really enjoyed it as a blockbuster film, but I don't even think it was the best Marvel movie to come out this year. So if this wins Best Picture, I'm going to be shocked. Banner, anything you want to add?
No, I mean, I pretty much echo everything you guys said because I haven't seen any of those movies.
You have seen Roma, though.
I did see.
Tell us about Roma.
Yeah.
Our fans are dying.
Guys,
to know.
obviously,
Like,
I saw Black Panther again. I don't think it deserves to be in this category. Again, nothing against it. It's a great movie. I love everything about it. Fantastic story. I just don't think the way you guys talk about some of these other ones, I don't think it's on the same level. And even from Roma, I don't think it's on the same level as that movie. Roma was, I mean, it was very good, guys. It's exactly what we would expect to be an Oscar-nominated movie. Pretty artsy, all filmed in black and white, but it's a pretty good story. Again, the only thing that there is no doubt in my mind it's going to win Best Foreign Film. No doubt in my mind. Obviously, it's nominated for Best Picture, so it's a no-brainer. It's gonna. If it doesn't win Best Foreign Film, but yet it's nominated for Best Film, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
And I think that he may have a shot at Best Director because it was very, very well directed, very, very well filmed. So he's got a shot at that as well. Obviously, I haven't seen all of the other movies in that category, so I can't attest to them. But from what I saw, Roma was really good. It's not for everybody. Will I watch it again? Fuck no, I'm not going to watch it again. But I watched it once, and I'm not upset and I'm not disappointed that I watched it.
I don't know. I would actually be really interested to see what we could do on a Roma Bro Force Squad movie commentary.
You learned the hard lesson. If you all are, any of you guys are on a podcast out there, there'll never be the person that's like late to the Oscar party because they're like, don't worry, we watched them all, but you can watch this one. And it's probably not going to be the best movie.
Well, last one to the party has to do that.
But I only had to watch one, not 8. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I liked all of mine, really, except the favorite. So we all kind of win. All right, lead actor. We can go through this one a little bit quicker. Christian Bale for Vice, Bradley Cooper, A Star is Born, Willem Dafoe for At Eternity's Gate, Rami Malek, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Viggo Mortensen for Green Book. So only one of these I have not seen is Willem Dafoe in At Eternity's Gate, but Geiger saw Aquaman, so that's good enough, right?
Yeah, I saw Aquaman, so yeah, Dafoe's up there for sure. He was pretty good in Aquaman, and he taught himself how to swim for the role, so that's something.
Dedication.
Did you just make that up? You made that up. All right.
Swim better. I'm sure he can swim.
He worked on it. Yeah, he improved his craft. So my thoughts very quickly on this. Christian Bale was very good as Dick Cheney. Not incredible. If he wins this role, I think you do kind of have to factor in the body transformation for it. But after seeing Green Book, and I know I'm freshest off this of any movie, I really thought Viggo Mortensen was incredible.
You're getting it to Viggo? Wow.
I'm just saying. So Bradley Cooper was good in A Star is Born, but the most impressive thing he did to me was write those songs. And if we can give him credit for that for Best Actor, then he should win. Rami Malek was good in Bohemian Rhapsody as well, but his performance seemed a little self-serving at times. And if you look at the way actual Freddie Mercury talked, I think he even hammed up the teeth a little more than they needed to be.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it is recency bias, but just seeing Viggo in fucking Green Book, he was incredible and transformative. All right, on to Geiger. What do you think?
So if Matt Geiger had the award right now, I'd give it to Bradley Cooper just because I love my favorite type of music is Southern rock, not country, Southern rock, which is what he does in this movie. He wrote his own songs. He basically taught himself how to sing and play guitar. No actor pushed himself to the limit this year the way Bradley Cooper has. But Rami Malek's winning this.
Yeah, but Christian Bale gained 100 pounds. It's kind of
that does, yourself. Yeah, but Christian Bale does that for a fucking like a Trident commercial.
I think he gains the weight and then tries to find a role to fit.
Yeah, he just finds a role. He's like, hey, I'm a bodybuilder now. Do we have any roles for that? But this is Rami Malek's to lose. I watched Bohemian Rhapsody. He is Freddie Mercury. He did a fantastic job. I'll have to give him that. I have my problems with the fucking film, but he is not one of them. He is great, and he did Freddie Mercury proud for sure. On just the script didn't, but this is his to lose for sure.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he didn't win.
Well, I'm giving it to William Dafoe because Spider-Man was on TV the other day.
Yeah, and he was in Aquaman. Dude, he's got 3 movies. These other spares have 1.
But define he's got 3 movies, like ever?
He had 3 movies that we've seen.
Actually, 4, because me and Jeff watched that Oscar snub, The Great Wall.
Oh my God, he is in that. Check out our review of The Great Wall, where we talked about...
Why would anyone check that out?
It's better than watching the whole fucking movie, I promise.
That's true.
Damn, Banner, how did you... That was a deep cut.
Yeah, I don't know. I try and forget.
Right now and Googling what is The Great Wall. He's like, oh, fuck, I was the star in that.
It's the one where I had the ponytail. That was fucking cool. All right, lead actress. We'll run through this one pretty quick. Yalitza Aparicio for Roma, Glenn Close for The Wife, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Lady Gaga for A Star Is Born, and Melissa McCarthy in a very dramatic role in Can You Ever Forgive Me? I think Can You Ever Forgive Me and The Wife were unfortunately ones this podcast didn't get to see. Banner, I'll let you lead off. Yalitza Aparicio plays Cleo in Roma. What were your thoughts?
Fantastic. Again, I mean, I don't. It's hard. The way that she delivers lines and stuff, no fucking clue. But yeah, I think it was good. But the way that she played the role and
is she the maid or the housekeeper who their live-in maid?
Yeah, she's one of them. There's two of them.
Wow, must be nice to be that fucking rich.
At least I'm pretty sure that that's who it was. To be honest with you, I don't know. But all three of the leading females, or all three of the females in it, were all very, very good. They all did a great job. One thing that I forgot to add to the actual movie as a whole was there was a super artsy because there was a dude doing naked martial arts at one point. So totally fits the Oscar nomination role. But as far as Best Actress goes, yeah, she did great. I can't attest to how she'll hang against everybody else. I'm sure Glenn Close will win it because she'll have some awesome speech to say when she wins.
I'll talk briefly about.
Amy Adams not in this, Jeff, or is she supporting?
She is nominated for supporting actress.
Okay, all right, got it. Okay, go ahead.
I'll speak briefly about Olivia Colman in The Favorite. I did not even recognize her in this role. I hadn't really, if I had seen her in anything else, I certainly didn't notice. And she does this incredible job of playing. Like, I know that I kind of shit on the movie earlier, but the one thing it really has going for it is her character's dynamic with Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone, where they're basically competing for her affection as the queen, and they're both like willing to do fucking anything to get her attention over one another. And there's a scene where Olivia Colman's character, this isn't a spoiler, she has 17 rabbits, which is, I think we can all agree, the sign of a single woman, right? And Emma Stone realizes that the best way to suck up to the queen isn't to, suck up to her like, oh, you're such a great queen. She starts taking an interest in the queen's rabbits, and it becomes like sexually arousing to her. That's a little glimpse into how weird this fucking movie was, but the way that she acted that scene was really good. I don't think she'll win, but definitely someone, she's a little bit older, but someone to keep on your radar going forward. Gaga, you want to say anything about Lady Gaga or Lady Gaga?
Yeah, I will say this. It looked like her fifth or sixth movie. The singing parts were fantastic because she is a top-notch singer, no question about it. But
the stuff with her and her dad was awesome too, though.
Absolutely, and that was Andrew Dice Clay,
which is again
80s, 90s fans. He was the Dane Cook of the 80s, basically, if you know who he is. But it acted like her fifth or sixth movie. She's great, but hey, it's the Oscars. They had to make a Leo wait. She ain't fucking getting this. There's no way. Not over her first movie, and this is probably going to be one of her last movies. I don't know. This was a role meant for her. I don't see her doing like love stories or. She might come back, in a star-studded movie like in Ocean's 8, something like that, where she's the fifth role. I don't know, but I think she's mostly into singing. But she's not going to win this. It's sad.
She's talented. She's not like a singer/actor. Like she is that good at singing that she could just
she's good.
pay the bills.
Yeah. Like Jamie Foxx?
No. All right, best.
She's up there with like Elvis Presley, Justin Timberlake, like some of them that just went into acting and are fantastic at it.
Or like Beyonce in Goldmember.
Yeah, like that.
Although she's gonna make us all look stupid when Lion comes out. All right, supporting actor Mahershala Ali for Green Book, Adam Driver from BlacKkKlansman, Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born, Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Sam Rockwell for Vice. Now this is a tough one because as a pod, Mahershala Ali, we bow at his altar. I suck the dick of Sam Rockwell any given chance, and you guys and your obsession with Sam Elliott is unhealthy to say the least. But also Geiger, the same apology you owe to Bradley Cooper is Adam Driver, who's been buried by you. Yep. Is he going to get a similar one or no?
He was great. I think I'm the only one on the pod that saw the BlacKkKlansman. Denzel's son in it. Adam Driver. It's a Spike Lee joint. Fantastic movie. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's up for a couple nominations, I believe. But Adam Driver's fine in this movie. The only problem is that all these supporting actors, I mean, Mahershala Ali almost seemed like he was in it just as much as Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
Sam Elliott is fantastic in The Star is Born, but he's not in it that much. Sam Rockwell is fantastic.
I wanted
in
more
Vice,
of him.
He's not in it that much.
And I wanted more of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's the point of supporting actor, right? It's like you wanted more of them.
But it was almost split between Viggo and Ali. That wasn't supporting at all. That was almost like a double main event. I mean, they're both in it. It's gonna go to Ali for sure, but But Sam Elliott, we still love you. You're a god of the pod.
Yeah, you won it in my book.
Yeah.
He gets the Banner Award every single year. I saw Green Book, A Star is Born, and Vice, and of these three performances, I love Sam Elliott. I can't say just as much as you guys because I would be like sending him my toenail clippings every week if that were the case. But to me, on this list, again, I only saw 3 of the 5, but Mahershala Ali's performance, I don't want to say it was transcendent, but he was like, if he was a supporting actor in screen time, he carried that movie. And that's, again, him and Viggo Mortensen. You could put them both. You could probably interchange them for supporting and lead. It would make sense.
Banner, I don't know how it's done in Frizzy, LA, but where we're from, sending toenail clippings just warrants a thank you, not a cease and assist, lawyer shit. I mean, Sam Elliott doesn't know how much time we put into clipping our toenails and sending it to him. It's disgusting. I don't understand why lawyers have to get involved.
Yeah, what's his problem? That's why we have Cycli on payroll, though.
Absolutely.
Just for that. All right, we'll run through this one quick. Supporting actress Amy Adams, Marina de Tavira for Roma, Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk, and Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz both for The Favorite. Banner, anything you want to say about Marina de Tavira, who played Signora Sofia in Roma?
Again, very good, just as everybody is. I can't attest to the delivery of lines because I don't know what they're saying. But I read the subtitles, fantastic, and she did a good job.
I hate to keep putting you on an island, but I understand the one you had to watch is probably the most difficult to judge of all of these.
I'm doing the best I can. No, I mean,
like
all of her
boxer we sent out there. He's like, I can't fucking fight anymore. It's like, dude, just get through one more round. We can make it.
When you take your wife to Cabo this year, they'll be like, "Oh, Miss Urbana, you're the one that defended Roma, yes?" Like, yeah. Why do they sound Asian? I'm trying to do a Hispanic accent. Sorry, I'm not Jeff.
Not a good skill to have. All right, Geiger. Of these, you saw Vice with Amy Adams. I know you're a big fan of her performance as Lynn Chaney.
Actually, I watched about 45 minutes of If Beale Street Could Talk the other day before I went and played golf. Amy Adams, great. I waved the Amy Adams banner. I just don't think she was in it enough, but she did a fantastic job as Mrs. Chaney. However, Regina King, look up the movie she was in, and you'll probably be like, oh my God, I forgot she was in all these. Name one movie that she wasn't a fucking boss in. She is great in every fucking movie she's in.
Dude,
and I think she should get this award, honestly.
She's great in Ray, but I think my favorite role, very biased, is her role as Rod Tidwell's wife in Jerry Maguire.
I was just about to say Jerry Maguire is her best
Every
role.
time I see that, I'm just like, that's fucking Rod Tidwell's wife, and she is great in that.
Check out our Jerry Maguire broback. I think she's also Will Smith's wife in Enemy of the State.
I believe she is.
I think it's Enemy of the State 2.
She's in a bunch of Oscar movies, nominated movies, and then she's in a bunch of really poppy movies that you forget that she is the wife or girlfriend of somebody or the main actress, and she is great in fucking everything.
Yeah. I, of course, saw The Favorite with Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz, and man, it's almost like two tennis players volleying back and forth. They just kind of wear each other out. And that's kind of how it was. They were on screen together a lot and had incredible chemistry, I thought. But again, it almost seemed like they were both Oscar baiting each other. In this Yorgos Lanthimos film, the way that he writes dialogue, it's otherworldly, and I don't mean that as a compliment. It's like this alternate universe. And so while their performances were good, it's tough for me to say they were better than at least Amy Adams as Lynn Chaney, which is the other role that I saw on this list to compare to. So I don't want to say they're undeserving if they win, but I would be surprised. Best Director, we have Spike Lee for Black Klansman, Paweł Pawlikowski for Cold War, Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite, Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, and Adam McKay for Vice. Banner, Alfonso Cuarón, visual extraordinaire. He did Gravity with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. Everyone is touting Roma as this visual masterpiece, which I thought was kind of interesting because it was in black and white. What did you think visually of the movie or of Cuarón's direction?
I loved it, and obviously I can't attest to some of these other movies, but I'm in his corner through and through on this. Yes, it's in black and white, but the way that it was shot, it doesn't feel like it's black and white. It's really interesting because you get the feel of that neighborhood in Mexico City through the way that he shot it, and you really understand what the character of the city is and what he was trying to convey. A lot of times, I think sometimes the way things are shot and the way that people direct things, it takes away from the movie and takes away from the story. And I think in this case, it actually enhanced it, which I think is what's most important in Best Director.
I had heard, and you might not even know what I'm talking about because I didn't see the movie, but I heard there was a really cool scene where there's like a camera that he had floating in the ocean that was like filming people on the shore.
Yeah, really cool.
It
literally looked like he took a GoPro, threw it out there, and just picked it up and was like, oh, yeah, that's what we got. Cool.
Cool. We can use a lot of this footage.
Yeah.
I'll talk briefly about Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite. Again, very eclectic director. If you liked The Lobster or The Killing of a Sacred Deer, you'll probably like this movie. If you watch them and like me, I haven't seen The Lobster, but Killing of a Sacred Deer, and you're like, what the fuck is this? I feel like an idiot. You're going to feel like that, especially the first 30 minutes of The Favorite until Nicholas Holt's character shows up and like kind of grounds the thing in reality. I just don't want him to win. In my mind, he's like, I don't want to say pretentious. That seems a bit harsh, but he's fucking pretentious. And then you can check out our Vice review for more of what we thought of Adam McKay. But Geiger, anything you want to add about him, or of course Spike Lee for Black Klansman?
Spike, he's not going to get it, man. He did a fantastic job telling that story. It was a true story about the first black cop on the force in Colorado Springs. I think it was back in the 70s. I haven't seen it in a while, so forgive me. But it wasn't a Spike Lee joint. He didn't direct it as, Do the Right Thing or something like that. He didn't direct it like Adam McKay that railed the credits halfway through and kind of gave a nudge like, oh, do you see that, dude? No one's ever done this cool shit before. So I don't think he'll get it. He was just focused on telling the story, which he did a fantastic job in. However, Best Director, you got to do something magnificent. I mean, see The Revenant. I haven't even seen Roma, but I've seen previews for it. And it looks
I think
like
this is Cuarón. I think this is Cuarón's to lose.
Yeah, I think it's Roma all the way.
Which is cool because it was a Netflix.
Fantastic.
Another cool one. This is Netflix original, which you're starting to see these. I mean, obviously last year or the year before was it Manchester by the Sea, an Amazon original, and then now you have a Netflix original. They're making their way into these top categories at the Oscars.
Yeah, it has just legitimized the medium that much more.
Should we just have a Boston movie category at the Oscars next year?
Yeah, I think that's already been announced for sure.
Okay.
Definitely at the Broskers.
It's called What's Your Fucking Problem?
What's your fucking problem? You watch fucking movies?
All right, last one, animated feature, Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, Mirai, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I think this is a 2-dog race, maybe 3 if you think Isle of Dogs has that Wes Anderson cult behind it. But this is really down to Incredibles 2 and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Banner, I saw Into the Spider-Verse and Incredibles 2. You saw Incredibles 2. Give me your pitch. Do you think it can win or should win?
I think Incredibles 2 is going to win. First off, the Japanese one, Mirai or whatever it is, didn't watch it, not going to. It's going to lose. Ralph Breaks the Internet is cute, but not going to win. I think it's just in this category.
That feels like a filler.
Yeah. They just needed another movie here. Into the Spider-Verse, I didn't see it, but an incredible voice cast. Isle of Dogs, again, I think that if you can get that cult following, it has a little bit artsiness to it, maybe, which I think may help. But I think Incredibles 2, it's going to win. It was fantastic. Everything about it, top to bottom. It's very hard to top the first one, and I think it did.
I loved both Incredibles 2 and Into the Spider-Verse. I think Into the Spider-Verse has a lot of momentum here. Mahershala Ali being attached to it. I mean, that dude is like fucking like money at the Oscars.
And it came out at the right time of the year.
Right. Case in point, Moonlight, and obviously all the buzz he's getting around Green Book and True Detective here. I don't know. This one's almost too close to call. If you made me bet Geiger's life on it, I would probably say Mirai wins, mainly just because I want to be wrong so that Geiger No offense, but that'd be kind of cool, right? If an assassin showed up and killed you. I love you.
Pod would be a lot bigger for sure. Then you guys could all do a movie about what a piece of shit I was, and I was the only person bringing down the pod. It'd be fun.
And but then like at the end, we could say in honor of Matt Geiger.
Yeah,
like, we
but
just
it's like
shit
in
on
honor
him for an
of
hour
the
and a half.
whole time. It's awesome.
Yeah. So I'll say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, although you can't ever bet against Disney Pixar. It's just not a safe thing to do. All right, before we move on and wrap up the show with Protein Shake and Do You Even Lift Bra, anything you guys want to add about Oscar season or the movies we watched?
William Dafoe, hashtag you're the best.
Any movies available on Blu-ray or anything like that, we'll link below in the description if you want to rent or buy them really quick on Amazon. You can do that. Just click the description below. Yeah,
we still have plenty of time to see these, man. We have, I think, February 24th is the Oscars. The only reason we're doing this now is because the noms just came out. We want to talk about it. But yeah, there's still plenty of time to go watch these. I would recommend checking them out because for me, with the exception of The Favorite, every one, like 5 or 6 that I watched, I actually really, really liked to varying degrees and for different things. All right, on to the next part of our show, our Protein Shake, where we go around and talk about what is in our cup, also known as What Have We Watched Lately. Banner, we'll go to you first. Since the last time we spoke, what have you checked out?
All right, guys. So obviously I watched Roma because of the Academy Awards. Suggested it was a good movie. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Went back and revisited 300. Just a solid, good movie. Enjoyed that. Hotel Transylvania 3. Don't knock it till you try it.
There's always one of these in here that I'm like, I'm surprised at how unsurprised I am.
Yeah. Don't knock it till you try it, and then you can knock it. Emperor's New Groove, just revisit that, doing a little research. Hint, hint. Transformers Age of Extinction. Really fucking bad movie, guys.
That's the first one with Wahlberg, right?
Yes, really fucking bad.
Come on, Optimus, we gotta go fight some explosions and Decepticons, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, but my daughter, all right? Just watch out for her. She can't have sex. She's only 17.
When he's fixing the toaster and he's like, this stuff's going to put you through college, okay?
Do
you know how many fucking toasters you would have to sell to put her through Arizona State?
It's insane how they're like, oh, he's such a nerd, but then he's not.
Yeah, how does a
You're
nerd have that
fucking
big
meathead. God.
It's like when they try to make The Rock a scientist in movies, or like in Rampage, he's a zoologist. Like, okay, bro.
Yeah, no, you're not. Maybe you ate a zoologist. Started watching the Ted Bundy tapes or Confessions of Ted Bundy on Netflix.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're 3 or 4 episodes in. Pretty interesting how fucking psycho this guy is, or was. And just how the development of how we learned about serial killers and kind of coined that, and just an interesting take. If you guys want to watch it, I can't watch it before bed because then I have really fucked up dreams. But it's an interesting if you guys are into kind of that Dateline, into the mind of a psychopath or sociopath. Definitely recommend checking that out.
What is it, like 1 season, 8 episodes or something?
Yeah, I think so. 6 or 8 episodes, something like that. And it's a documentary series or a docuseries about Ted Bundy. After he was already convicted on death row and all this, a journalist came in and recorded him and basically got him talking in the third person, never admitting what he did, but got him talking about what he did, how they did it, how he did it, and then the way that he talks. Very, very interesting. Geiger recommended this last week, the Fire Festival documentary on Netflix. Went ahead and checked that out. It's a good documentary, guys.
Didn't I recommend it too?
Did you recommend it? Someone recommended it.
I didn't recommend that. I recommended Icarus like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. My bad. Hornacek recommended it. Enjoyed it. It was a great job. Thank you.
How great is Ja Rule in that?
Incredible. My favorite part is when he goes, guys, it's not fraud, okay?
That's not fraud.
That's not fraud. We fucked up, but that's not fraud. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. No one died.
He says it's not like no one died, which actually would mean that someone died.
Yeah, he has no clue. He's fucking clueless. And then the last thing I checked out was Polar, the new Netflix original based on the graphic novel. Guys, I want more. I know that there's more graphic novels than just the first one. They left it open to where they can make more. Fucking give me more. Mads Mikkelsen is incredible, guys. If you don't know the premise, basically Mad Mikkelsen is a assassin who's about to retire. The company he works for wants to save a bunch of money, so they try and assassinate him. And it's about that struggle between basically who's the better assassin, a company or him. There's a nice, cool little twist at the end. I won't give anything away. Definitely worth the watch. You guys should check it out.
All right, I'm sold. I'm going to try and get the wife to watch that one tonight because that sounds fucking awesome. And if we can find it, let's link the where you can buy the book Polar below, because that also sounds like a badass preface for an anthology series.
Yeah, I'm probably going to buy the graphic novel here in the next week or two once I free up some time to actually have time to read it, because the movie was incredible.
Once I learn how to read, I'm all in on that. Is that all you got?
Yeah, it was kind of a slow week.
Jesus.
Yeah, real slow. Geiger, how about
Oh,
you?
actually, no, I got one more thing. Forgot, watch The Mummy today. The original one with Brendan Fraser. Fun watch.
I like that movie.
It's a fun
it probably
watch.
doesn't hold up at all, but
Actually, the CGI does hold up. It's kind of like a Jurassic Park situation for me.
Well, I remember, I think it's in The Mummy Returns, the Scorpion King CGI at the end.
That's
is like
really bad.
Infamously some of the worst in any film.
That was
ever
bad
made.
when it came out.
Yeah, I remember being like 8 years old, and not 8 years, whatever grade I was fucking in 8th grade in theaters. I'm 712, by the way, and being like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
All right, Geiger, what do you got?
Okay, so real quick, I'm going to the Super Bowl this week in Vegas. I guess I'm not going to the Super Bowl. I'm going to Vegas to watch the Super Bowl. So I watched my favorite Vegas movie, which might surprise you all. It's not Ocean's 11, which is our highest rated movie commentary. Yeah, I plugged it. Go check it out. I'll descript that below too.
Better be Vegas
But
Vacation.
It's Casino. Casino
yeah, that's a
with
good one,
Robert
too.
De Niro, Sharon Stone, and Joe Pesci is a fucking fantastic movie about old school Vegas, the way it used to be run before the corporation took it all over. Now the mob ran out of Kansas City. It's a great movie, and honestly, I don't think that got any Oscar love, and Goodfellas did, and I think it's better than Goodfellas. I've always thought that, just because it's about my favorite city. I think Joe Pesci is better in that than he is in Goodfellas. I think De Niro is better in that than he is good in Goodfellas, and Sharon Stone is fucking marvelous.
That's the best performance, even more than Basic Instinct.
Yes, because whenever you see it, Jeff and Brian, we all go back to a girl that we dated that acted like that. That was just badass shit crazy. Like, my God.
But you
And
can't
every
stop.
time, like, I promise I'm breaking up with her. I promise.
Yeah, I'm going to break up with her. I'm not going to call her again. The other movie I watched the other night, I grilled out, is actually kind of nice for once around here. And I drank 6-pack of beer, and I watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back on Netflix.
Nice.
And that is a great movie.
I
I,
didn't know
like
that
it better.
I didn't know it was on Netflix. I might check that out
It's on
tonight.
Netflix. And you'll be surprised about how many stars are in that fucking movie. Sean William Scott, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Mark Hamill, Carrie
Real
Fisher's in it. Carrie Fisher's in it. The hot chick from American Pie, the Eliza whatever who's hot, the hot chick from Varsity Blues. A lot of hot chicks in it. Good soundtrack too, actually. The last one I got was Dazed and Confused. I watched Dazed and Confused recently, which is still one of the greatest high school movies ever.
It might be the greatest High School Music movie.
Yeah.
And
we
also
should
probably
do
the
a-
best soundtrack ever, just because I love 70s classic rock. That's all I
We should
watch.
do a commentary on Dazed and Confused, like the last day of school or something.
God, dude.
Really gets me in the mood for summer break. All right, I watched The Favorite and Green Book for the pod, obviously for Oscar noms. So I pretty much gave you my in-depth thoughts on those throughout the past 40 minutes, so I won't give them to you again. I watched Friends from College Season 2 on Netflix. It's the show with Keegan-Michael Key, Fred Savage, who is hilarious in this. I know that sounds crazy to say, but he's awesome. And Kobe Smulders from How I Met Your Mother and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's basically about a group of friends who are like in their late 30s who obviously went to college together. And it's about how they've kind of like fucked up their lives since, but they still like drink and party just like they did in college. Season 1 was good. Nate Thurman, friend of the pod, and I both thought it got a little depressing, like the latter third of it.
It wasn't what I
Season
thought
two-
it was going to be either.
Not at all. Season 2 is better, but kind of ends bittersweet again. So I don't know quite how I feel about it, but I like Season 2 more than Season 1. And I would recommend it. It's a short 8 30-minute episodes is all it is. So we
That's not
watched it
bad.
in like 2 or 3 days. I watched a crazy documentary that I've actually been putting off for a while called 3 Identical Strangers. It's about these three kids who are 19 years old, and they meet each other in New York by happenstance in 1980, and they realize that they are triplets who were separated at birth. Were all adopted to. This is a true story. They were all adopted by different families, and they just literally like fucking ran into each other. Two of them met each other, and the third one saw the first two in the newspaper. They went on all the talk shows, all this shit, you know, Brokaw, Dateline. They got reunited. Everything was great. And then, I won't spoil it for you, but the twist happens, and they realize why they were separated at birth, and shit hits the fan. I would highly recommend it. I thought it was nominated for Best Documentary last year, but it actually wasn't, which I thought was pretty crazy. But it's called Three Identical Strangers. It's like an hour, 30 minutes. It'll blow your mind. Was very, very interesting.
Okay, when we get off pod, you're gonna have to tell me what the twist is.
Okay, and then the last thing that I watched, Banner, I called you right after I got out of the theater because this is probably going to be at the end of the year on our year-end pod. This is my worst movie of 2019 already. I saw a movie called Serenity with Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway and Diane Lane. Right? How could that be awful? So here's the plot, which sounds badass. Hence why I fucking paid $60 to take my wife and I and get food at the movies. A shipboat captain and Matthew McConaughey, his ex-wife comes to him. They've been estranged since he came back from Iraq. His ex-wife Anne Hathaway comes to him and says, "My new husband is abusing me. I'll give you $10 million if you take him out on your boat and fucking drown him in the middle of the ocean."
Get on the boat, man. Get on the boat.
Sounds incredible, right? Super intense, rated R. Anne Hathaway and McConaughey reunited from Interstellar. This movie, I can't tell you anything because
I made him tell me the twist, and
it has.
If you'd have told me the twist going in, I'm in. Now that I know it, I want to see it because it sounds stupid, and by going into it not knowing that that's what's going to happen, absolutely absurd. No movie should ever do that to a person.
Yeah, it's called Serenity. It's crazy. That's all that I'll say. I can't spoil much else except that I gave it I think it's the only movie on Letterboxd we've reviewed that I gave a half star.
Was it all a dream that Sully had, the lead singer of Godsmack? Then he wrote the song Serenity.
Well, now we have to put spoilers in the description.
No, fuck. Okay, my bad. I guessed it.
No, actually, that would have been better. That somehow would have been better. I don't know how much they fucking paid Matthew McConaughey, but this is proof that with the right dollar amount, you can get him to do anything. Like there's nothing off limits when you see
better bite your tongue before we get in a fight.
Yeah, I pump the brakes there.
All right, last part of the show before we wrap things up. Banner, did you have a question that you wanted to ask everybody?
Yeah, I just got this question. Yeah, hey, brah. Yo, brah. Do you like brah?
I never know when to come in, like
Bruh.
if you're going to do it again.
Bruh.
Yeah,
And that brings us to...
Give it
We still have the timing of like two drunk people. Do you even lift, brah?
You got a lift?
It's our question and answer segment
You got a lift
where
today?
we dig up... Jesus Christ, man. Where we steal questions from the internet and answer them on our show because we can. We only have two today. Our first question comes to us from Stephen Brathwaite at Steb2999. And he says... Recently caught the end of the first X-Men, and I really enjoyed watching the back and forth between Sir Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen as it was mirrored with the chess game, which is just an absolute incredible scene. I need to go back and revisit that. What are some of your favorite endings? Steven, thank you for reminding me about that badass scene. Geiger, we'll let you go first. Favorite ending or endings in a movie? No spoilers if we can, I guess. If it's like a...
I have two, and one's on Netflix. I think both of them are on Netflix, actually. I still like No Country for Old Men. And I know a bunch of people shit on it
Don't let
because
Nick Thurman hear that. Oh my God.
I don't give a shit because you could go. I could go to a bar right now, sit next to a guy, and just be like, "Hey, what's up? My name's Geiger." Like, "Oh, hey, my name's Pete." And I'm like, "So, what do you think the ending for No Country for Old Men is?" And we would have a fucking like presidential debate right there. It's really fucking fun. I think that they just left it for the audience to interpret. Of course, the Coen brothers have their own probably vision of it, and they could probably tell you that. I'm not sure if they have or not. I haven't researched it that deeply, but I kind of like that it was up for interpretation, man. I think it was different to everybody. It's kind of like fucking Stairway to Heaven or something. And it's something different to everyone. It just kind of depends on how in touch you are with God. The last one, speaking of God, is fucking Scarface when he snorts all that coke and fucking kills everyone.
He does coke and Scarface?
That's the most badass fucking third act to a movie ever. So much that I remember when my parents finally got this big screen TV with surround sound, and me and my dad, the first movie we watched on it was just the third act. We didn't watch the first two. It was just the third act of Scarface to fucking break it in.
You're like,
That
yep,
movie-
this'll do. All right, for me, those are two good ones. Well, I have one good one very controversial one. Again, Nate Thurman's gonna kill you in your fucking sleep for that. I have the first Saw, although the second one is good too. Check out our Saw movie commentary. I won't spoil it on the pod if you haven't seen it, even though it's like 15 years old.
Check out our commentaries though, on both of those.
But pound for pound, I still think the greatest twist in a movie I've ever seen. And then the second one, just because it's a tearjerker, I'm not afraid to admit it, is the end to Armageddon. When Bruce Willis comes on the Skype video and says, AJ's going to have to take care of you now, I fucking lose it. Where did that Michael Bay go? The one that could get that kind of emotion out of us.
He's still there. He's still there. He's out there.
Banner, what do you got?
All right, so I've got two. One of them, Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. That third act, bouncing between the three different
That is really
scenes, or three different areas and three different battles. Absolutely fantastic, just as a whole third act. I also, and Jeff, I think you're gonna love this. The end of V for Vendetta.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed
good.
that one too. That's on Netflix. You guys should go and look at that too. But those are two. I had about 10 minutes before the pod to check out the question, so I apologize I didn't put a lot of thought into it. But those are two that came up in my mind.
Nice. All right. Last question comes to us from Satyendra N. Banerjee at SNDONLB. If I'm reading that wrong, I'm so sorry. And he says, what musician do you feel should get the biopic treatment? I want a Kiss movie. This is something we've talked about, I know, off pod. I don't know if we've actually shared with the world our answers. Geiger, do you want to go first?
I don't know what I'd call it, but Nirvana movie, Charlie Hunnam as Kurt Cobain, because that's the one that's destined to play.
You're so fucking good at fan casting shit
Dude,
like this.
seriously?
God damn it.
You have a gift, my friend.
I'm not sure who I'd want to play Grohl. I'm actually leaning toward Adam Driver, which is really because Grohl is a god to me, and me and Adam Driver have had issues, but I think he'd do a good job.
Yeah, I don't know if Adam Driver can do that for you, but he could definitely. I mean, he fucking looks like him right now.
Yeah,
basically.
I know.
I want to go with Oasis. Obviously, the music would be awesome, especially the "Don't Look Back in Anger" scene, but the intimate details of the Gallagher brothers basically like trying to fucking kill each other before every show for 10 years is so compelling, and who would not want to see that? Two British dudes, hey, fuck you, you're probably not even your actual kid's father. All right, well, we got to go on stage now. Like, and the rest of the band's like, what just happened? I don't know what you'd call it, but Oasis is my pick. Banner, how about you?
I would like a Blink-182 one.
Well, that's Geiger Mine's favorite band, so of course we have to do that. Why
and
did
then
you think that all the Tom and Mark shit would be awesome?
yeah, I'm
Dude,
actually
Michael Bay
shocked
could direct that, do a bunch of space stuff with UFOs.
I'm actually shocked that neither one of you guys said it. And then another one I wouldn't mind, because I don't think we've ever truly gotten something like this, which might be interesting. I don't know, maybe not. It's just a true Beatles one, beginning to end.
Yes.
Yeah, Geiger's mentioned that before. I'm totally with you. How's that not happened?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Gotta do Queen and Elton John first. Priorities.
All right.
Although
Well, we got
I
both-
can't argue with, I'm sorry, whoever asked us this question, with Kiss. I think that'd be fucking cool too.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I mean, I think that another key to this too is for like the casual fan. This is why Bohemian Rhapsody I think did so well. You just know all the songs.
Yeah.
And that's the driving force really at the core of it for the casual fan. All right, before we go, any closing thoughts? Banner, do you want to say anything in Spanish that we can translate at the bottom? Super offensive. Geiger, how about you?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Happy Oscars.
I second that, and we have been the Bro4 Squad podcast for the mad scientist, Brian Banner, and our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger. I'm the mayor, Jeff Hornacek. Thank you guys for listening to us. Follow us on Twitter at Bro4 Squad. Check out all of our reviews on Letterboxd, Bro4 Squad, 3 words. Type that same thing into iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, and subscribe to us there, and check out everything we post on our website, bro4squad.com. Till next time, we'll see you at the movies.
I was just talking really fast like he does in Billy Madison.
Oh.